Chicken Little. Let me tell you a story about a chicken. His name is Chicken Little. He lived in a cozy little chicken house on a quiet little street in a normal little town. Chicken Little was not especially tall, nor was he especially short. He was not particularly fat, nor was he particularly thin. He was a completely and perfectly normal chicken in every way. One completely normal morning, Chicken Little was in his kitchen eating his breakfast. He loved toast with a little bit of butter and a warm cup of coffee with a splash of cream. While he ate, he scrolled through the news on his tablet. He read about the weather and the town bake sale. But then, he saw a story with a big, bold, and very scary headline. The headline said, "The sky is falling." Chicken Little was so scared that his toast slipped from his wing and fell right into his coffee. Plop! "The sky is falling?" he whispered to himself. Then he shouted, "The sky is falling. I have to warn everyone." First, he quickly typed an email and sent the scary story to 1,000 of his closest friends. Then, without even finishing his coffee, he burst out of his front door and ran down the road. The first person he met was Gwen the Hen. She was walking home from the supermarket, carrying a bag full of groceries. "Good morning, Chicken Little," clucked Gwen the Hen. "My, where are you rushing off to? You look like you've seen a ghost." "The sky is falling. The sky is falling," panted Chicken Little. "Really?" asked Gwen, her eyes wide. "How do you know?" "I saw it on the internet," said Chicken Little. "Holy moly!" gasped Gwen. "If it was on the internet, it must be true. We have to tell people." She dropped her grocery bag and joined him. "Let's go." And so Chicken Little and Gwen the Hen hurried down the road together. Soon, they came to the town pond, where they saw Chuck the duck. He was happily splashing in the water. "Hello, you two," quacked Chuck the duck. "Where are you going in such a hurry? Why do you look so scared?" "The sky is falling. The sky is falling," they both shouted. "Really? How do you know?" asked Chuck, paddling closer. "I saw it on the internet," said Chicken Little. "Oh no, then it must be true," said Chuck. He leaped out of the pond, shaking water everywhere. "Let's go." So Chicken Little, Gwen the Hen, and Chuck the duck ran down the road towards the farm. They were making quite a commotion, shouting, "The sky is falling! Run for your lives!" When they reached the farm, they saw Bruce the goose. He was standing on a hay bale, reading poetry to Peasy the pigeon, who was perched on a fence post. "Hello, everyone," honked Bruce the goose. "What is all this shouting about? The sky is falling. The sky is falling," everyone yelled. "Really? How do you know?" cooed Peasy the pigeon. "We saw it on the internet," they all said together. "Goodness gracious, it must be true," said Bruce. "There is no time for poetry now. Let's go." And so Chicken Little, Gwen the Hen, Chuck the duck, Bruce the goose, and Peasy the pigeon all hurried down the road towards the town, causing a great flap and flurry. On the main street, they met Fred the fox. He was sitting at a cafe table, typing on his laptop. He looked up with a friendly smile. "Hello, everyone," said Fred. "Where are you all going? Why are you so scared?" "The sky is falling. The sky is falling," everyone yelled. "Really? How do you know?" asked Fred, raising an eyebrow. "We saw it on the internet," they all shouted at the top of their lungs. "Wow, well then it must be true," said the fox. "But don't you worry, my friends. I know the perfect place to hide where the sky can't get you. Follow me." Fred the fox led everyone through the village, down the road, across a field, and up a steep hill. At the very top of the hill was a big, dark cave. Come in," said Fred the fox with a wide grin. "There's enough room for everybody. We will be safe in here." One by one, Chicken Little and all of his friends followed the fox into the dark cave. The next morning, the cave was empty. Fred the fox sat under a tree with a big, round belly. Silly animals, he chuckled to himself. He opened his laptop and began to write a new story.